A new book shares the little-known story of the Beatles' longtime roadie, personal assistant, and beloved friend, Mal Evans. Decades after his death, his diaries and vast collection of memorabilia has now surfaced.
Longtime Beatles writer Kenneth Womack had full access to Mal's archives and features his stories in Living the Beatles Legend, the untold story of Mal Evans. And Kenneth joins us live now. Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to be with
We
you.
appreciate you joining us. So a lot of Beatles fans out there, but if you could just start from the beginning and give us a general overview of who this person was and why he was so important to the Beatles' legacy.
Sure. Anybody who loves the Beatles or begins to discover the Beatles quickly finds this fellow in the background, a photo bomber who is in all the photos with the Beatles, and it's Mal Evans. He was their roadie. And he was the guy who was with them really from beginning to end, ferrying their equipment around and making all those late night studio sessions possible that created such masterworks as Sgt. Pepper and the White Album.
So tell us about, he was with the Beatles all the way through their career, and then what was it, in the 70s, he tried to branch out, write a memoir, and what happened to Mal?
Sure. So Mal kept working with the Beatles, well, with the exception of Paul, who was suing the others to end the partnership. But he kept working with the other Beatles on their solo albums. And in the 70s, he was indeed trying to make it as a producer and also as a songwriter. He had the last song that he co-wrote on the Ringo album called You and Me, Babe, with George Harrison. And he also produced the song I bet you guys know, No Matter What, by Badfinger, which was a top 5 hit.
Wow. And so he had he died in 1976, and he supposedly had a big bunch of memorabilia and stuff, and there was a mystery as to where it went?
There really was. And actually, it's one of my favorite parts of the story is tracking all this stuff down. Right now, it's right here with me on the New Jersey shore. But for the longest time, it was in a basement in New York City, in the basement of the New York Life building, where the publisher had scuttled it away when Mal's memoirs weren't published as a result of his death. And thanks to an Estonian immigrant named Lena Kuti and Yoko Ono, those materials were saved before they were sent to the scrap heap, and they were shared finally 12 years after Mal's death with his family.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at diaries, manuscripts, all this memorabilia. What was most fascinating to you going through this material?
My gosh, it's hard to decide where to begin. I mean, there are thousands of photographs, and as a longtime thinker about the Beatles, I couldn't believe how many I had never seen before. There were also diaries and journals mapping out his entire experiences with the Beatles and beyond. And what these materials really did was they helped to humanize these guys, right? We often think of them as geniuses who put together this incredible, unusual, extraordinary music in such a short period of time. But Mal's documents really help us to understand the humans behind the story, including himself.
Kenneth, did you say you're sitting amongst some of the stuff that was his?
So in 2020, his son, Gary Evans, contacted me and said, do you want to tell my dad's story? And, and inside of 5 minutes, I knew I would help Gary out. He's a big, lovable guy like his dad, and you just can't resist wanting to help him. But I couldn't help saying, hey, is there really all this stuff? And Gary said, there sure is. Do you want to see it? And the natural answer was yes. And the next thing I know, it's arriving here on the Jersey shore. Fortunately, not exactly on the beach, but in our house. And we were able to start going through this material, and it just blew our minds.
What about those guitars behind you? Are those part of the collection, or is that your stuff, Kenneth?
No, that's part of my collection.
Okay.
Mal would have been familiar with those two, Epiphone Texan and an Epiphone Casino, which were part of the Beatles' gear. Part of his job, of course, was learning how to keep track and maintain all of those guitars and, of course, Ringo's drums.
What did you learn from all this material about the relationship among the Beatles after they broke up? Was he sort of a go-between between the members, when all this falling out happened?
What you learn when you start to study that period is just how heartbreaking it was, right? These were not just business partners and musical partners, but friends. And Mal put a premium on friendship, and being in between those guys as they went through those struggles in the 70s was really, really painful for him. There was a day in April 1974 when John, Paul, and Ringo were together really for the first time in probably 4 years at that point. And Mal was there, and he just gushes in his diary about how meaningful it was to see them back together again. I mean, it made his heart soar.
Will any of his stuff be up for auction? Is there anything tangible, or is it mostly memoirs and photos?
So there are no plans from the estate at this point for any kind of auction. But what we will be doing next year is a sequel to the biography. We'll be publishing a book, 2 of the project, so that everybody else can have access to these diaries, to all of Mal's manuscripts, many more photos, so that they can go down their own mysterious Mal Evans rabbit holes and uncover more Beatles mysteries.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, Kenneth. It's KennethWomack.com, and you can follow him on X. And the name of the book is Living the Beatles Legend, The Untold Story of Mal Evans. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you.